good, y'all? Welcome to my review of Napoleon. Yes, finally watched it. As you guys know, I purposely ended up not seeing this movie in theaters. Mostly because I was going to wait for the 4-hour extended cut that was going to come to Apple TV once the movie, went to that service. Well, the movie came, and there was no 4-hour extended cut. Apparently, Apple isn't going to release it. Now, it seems like it's finished from what Ridley Scott has said, that it's already done and everything, it's ready to go. But for one reason or not, Apple just didn't want to release it. I don't know why they didn't want an extra 4-hour extended cut, because I feel they would have drive a lot of traffic to your streaming site. Be like, look, the only place where you can watch the 4-hour extended cut of Napoleon. You know what I mean? I don't know why they didn't release it. I don't know if it'll ever get released. I don't know if it'll be saved for some future Blu-ray or 4K release. I don't know if the movie's already been out on 4K or not. But yeah, I found that incredibly bizarre, because given how much Ridley Scott was hyping up this 4-hour extended cut. It'll be on Apple TV. It'll be on Apple TV. I was excited to watch it. And there was no 4-hour extended cut, which apparently, I believe it was Joaquin said it might have been upwards to 4.5 hours, which, oh boy, definitely would have been a long movie, but I would have gladly sat through it all, man. But, my disappointment about there not being an actual 4-hour extended cut aside. I also meant to watch this movie a lot sooner than I was. I wanted to watch the movie last week, but then I remember that last week was WrestleMania weekend, so there was no way in hell I was gonna be able to review the movie. And so yeah, I was like, oh, I'll do it next week. I'll do it next week. So here we are, man. But anyway, guys, overall, man, I know this movie's been pretty controversial for some people. Some people like it, some people have hated it. I personally love the film, man. Is it my favorite Ridley Scott film? No, but I would definitely say I loved it, man. I really loved this movie, and I overall had a blast watching it, man. I was very engrossed from start to finish while watching this film. Although I definitely would have liked to see that 4-hour extended cut. Hopefully, maybe one day I'll see the live day so we can actually watch it, because I would gladly sit through it. Even if it was 4.5 hours long, I'd still gladly sit through it. So anyway, let's start. So the movie is directed by Ridley Scott and stars Joaquin Phoenix, Vanessa Kirby, Anna Mall, Ruben Everett, and many more in the plot of Napoleon is a look into the military commander's origin and his swift, ruthless climb to emperor, viewed through the prism of his addictive and often volatile relationship with his wife and one true love, Josephine. Now, first off, the cast is fantastic. Joaquin is incredible as always, man. Vanessa Kirby as Josephine was great as well. She had a really great performance as well. Most of the other supporting characters and actors I thought they did pretty good, but you were obviously here for Joaquin and Vanessa, man, and they both absolutely killed it, man. Ridley Scott's directing is superb as always, man. The cinematography in this film is gorgeous, man. There are so many amazing shots, especially during the battle scenes, like the one on the ice one when the soldiers start falling down, man. Some really nice sunset shots, man. The movie overall just looks incredible, and the battle sequences look incredible. While obviously they're definitely adding some CGI to add more bodies, there are still some things where you can see a lot of practical effects, a lot of extras on horseback, man. So you can really feel the sense of scale of the film, man, which is good. See, like I said, we don't Chris Levin mentioned this history of the movie. We don't get these movies that often, man. It seems like Ridley Scott is really the only person that's allowed to do it because, of course, of his tenured career as a filmmaker. He's kind of allowed to make these blank check whatever the fuck he wants to make movies. And I'm glad he keeps making these because he was amazing. This one was amazing. The Last Duel was fucking amazing. You guys know how much I love The Last Duel. I haven't seen Gladiator yet, and I think it's on a couple other historical epics, man, that I haven't gotten to see yet. But Blade Runner was also amazing as well, man. But yeah, this movie looks amazing. This movie was shot beautifully, man. It was directed very well, man. It just looked incredible, man. Like I said, you can really feel the sense of scale. And that's definitely probably my favorite part of the entire movie is the battles, man. The battles of the movie all look incredible. They're always well shot. You really get to feel the rawness and the brutality of war in the film, man, with how soldiers are killed. The practical effects are incredible, man. There's one time where around the start of the movie where a horse his neck just fucking explodes after getting shot with a cannon, man. It looked nasty. But man, did the effects work on that shot looked incredible. The effects worked throughout the rest of the movie, man. I thought looked amazing. Like I said, you can really feel and see the brutality of war in this film, which I appreciate Ridley Scott didn't sugarcoat it. He showed it off in all of its raw, gruesome glory, man, which I appreciate, man. Also, someone that likes gore in horror movies, I also appreciate for that. That was amazing, and the music I thought was really great, as well. And just the overall relationship between Josephine and Napoleon was just kind of fascinating, because it is definitely without doubt a toxic relationship, man, with very much ups and downs, and very confusing considering like they're like obsessed with each other one moment, then they hate each other, then they love each other again, and like it don't make no damn sense. They were like they were like the freaking Kardashians of the 1800s, man, with all these like tabloids coming out there of these artistic renderings of what people thought was going on, man, which is just insane. I was like, how do news outlets in the 1800s even get a hold of this information? I mean, like, there aren't security cameras to leak. There's not cell phones that are like always recorded. Like, how are people finding this information? Who is leaking this shit? Who is spilling the tea in the 1800s to these news outlets that are reporting this? That was like the one thing I was like, how are people even knowing about this, man? And like, where is this information coming out of, man? But their relationship was really fascinating to watch, man. Like I said, both Vanessa and Joaquin's performances were amazing, man. This movie also continues the trend that I've noticed with Ridley Scott recently in his movies to having weirdly comedic sex scenes. If you watch the film, y'all know what I'm talking about with Napoleon and Vanessa are getting it on, man. It's like, what is this? Like, the way my man be going at it, man, just had me cracking up. But yeah, there's also some really funny scenes in it as well with like Napoleon and Vanessa where he just straight up leaves the battlefield once he starts getting worried about his wife cheating on him. He just straight up leaves the battlefield to go check up on her. Like, man's like, oh no, don't worry, I'll be back. Don't worry, you know. I'm only back for a bit. Go for a bit. It was just kind of insane that he actually did that, man. But another thing I just love of this movie, man, isn't even with the movie itself. It's just Ridley Scott during like the marketing of this movie, where he's with just the amount of times he's told the stories to go fuck themselves. With the way because I know a lot of people say this movie's like inaccurate or whatever. They talk about the inaccuracy of this movie and how it's not that accurate to Napoleon's life, and Ridley Scott doesn't give a fuck about that. He's just like fuck off. You know, which I just felt every time when this movie was like coming out in theaters, or when it was like in theaters, and like every other tweet I would see where it was really got just telling our stories to go fuck themselves, it would always crack me up, and I'm like, never change, man, never change. Seriously, man, like that was just funny. That was just funny. Ridley Scott was just like, fuck y'all. And just did not give a damn at all, man. That's what all I can think of off the top of my head right now. In terms of flaws, I know a lot of people have mentioned that the pace of the movie is an issue. Like, people think it's either too fast or might have dragged a little bit. I personally think the movie definitely did drag a little bit in parts, which could have been alleviated with the 4.5 hour long extended cut, and definitely could have maybe felt where the movie didn't feel like it was so fast paced, because it does kind of feel like it's kind of like moving through things a little bit quickly, and it kind of feels like everything's got like done. It was done in like 2 years when it was obviously, you know, a much longer stretch of time. So yeah, like these are issues that maybe could have been fixed in the possibly 4.5 hour long, you know, extended cut that may release someday or may not. I don't know. I would like to see it, like I mentioned before. Which, speaking of Napoleon, man, did y'all know that actually Stanley Kubrick was actually going to make his own Napoleon film? I saw this video on YouTube a while ago that apparently he was going to make his own Napoleon film before he died, but then it got shelved. And apparently Steven Spielberg is actually working on it right now to make sure that to see a live day and adapt it into like a miniseries or something, which I'm excited to see, man. I mean, you know, a movie that was done or made by Stanley Kubrick like before he died and whatnot, man, to see what his version of a Napoleon film would look like definitely has me intrigued. I haven't seen that one historical epic that like took place in Europe around the same time as this film, I would think, or whatever, somewhere around that time. I forget what it was called, but I would definitely be down to see it, and hopefully that comes out soon. I would love to see what Stanley Kubrick would have done with Napoleon, how he would have made his version of like of a Napoleon biopic. But you know, whatever the case may be with that. But yeah, man, that's about all I can really think about that I got for you guys today. Obviously, I would recommend you guys go check this movie out. Maybe by the time you watch this, the 4-hour extended cut has released, so please go watch that version instead. But yeah, it's on Apple TV Plus already. You guys can watch it there. I don't know if it's out on Blu-ray or not. But you know, go watch me, man. Support these movies, man. These movies need the support so you can get more of these like massive scale, you know, war epics. And like I said, we don't get these movies very often. It feels like Ridley Scott is really the only person that's been able to make these films nowadays, man. And I would like to see more of them, man. But yeah. Anyway, guys, overall, my final verdict for this movie is going to be a 9.5 out of 10, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like if you did, subscribe if you're new. Follow me on social if you feel like it. Links in the description below. And as always, come back for more. See you guys next time. You